Hi, I'm Brian Shields, and I manage the Arcware service line here at Connectrix. I want to talk to you today about some new findings on variability in ARC ratings and the potential pitfalls of data shopping. We recognize that the market is also acutely aware of variability in ARC ratings, and there seems to be a recent race for higher ARC ratings in the PPE industry. With this video, we wanted to bring awareness to the dangers of data shopping and what an inaccurate ARC rating might mean for an end user. At the very least, PPE might not match the hazard as required by OSHA. Depending on the mismatch, the worst case would be catastrophic. Coming away with a clearer understanding of what could cause variation and the possible consequences of inaccurate data, it's my hope that this information empowers end users and manufacturers to start asking questions about the ARC ratings assigned to their clothing and how those ratings were determined. For over 25 years, we've been the world's leader in ARC flash testing. And throughout that time, we've always been concerned about variability and repeatability of ARC ratings. With variability in mind, we've always tested control fabrics at least once a month in our high current lab in Toronto. And for years, we found very tight repeatability on those control fabrics. I believe that tells us that while the test method itself may have some inherent variability, large discrepancies are likely due to differences in instrumentation and quality control. In recent months, repeatability and variability, especially between laboratories, has been brought into the forefront, so naturally we dug a little deeper, looking for a cause. Now, before we get into our findings, let's talk a little bit about why this has gotten so much scrutiny. Years ago, NFPA 70E set forth a series of categories for protection levels. Probably the most common and sought-after protection level is a so-called Level 2. That means a product must have an ARC rating of 8.0 to 25. Does this mean that an 8.5 cal rating will protect a worker in this risk level, but a 7.9 will result in significantly more injury? Absolutely not. But these are the levels we have to work with. That means variability in testing or fabrics becomes very critical, especially in this range. Focusing on this low end of the Level 2 range, we studied a particular fabric in this range for a paper that was recently presented at the 2023 Electrical Safety Workshop. The study, which included ARC ratings from multiple labs, produced a fairly broad range of ARC ratings from a single lot of fabric. And learning that performing over 25 complete ARC ratings on a given fabric could give such a broad range of results, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper to see what might cause the range of ARC ratings when looking at multiple labs. And this is where I built a growing concern about what we call data shopping. After a much closer look at the data, there's one detail we found that might lead to falsely high ARC ratings. You see, the standards dictate a specific range of incident energy that should result from a specific ARC duration. And exposure for this specified duration should yield an incident energy of 7.5 calories plus or minus 1. That range is about plus or minus 13%, so fairly broad itself. In Connectrix, we check that our bare shot calibration is always within that range. If it's not, then we make adjustments before testing. And in review of test reports from other labs, it appears that this is reasonably consistent practice around the world. But what is now apparent is that we also uniquely double-check that all our test shots are also in the expected incident energy range. Granted, the standard doesn't require this, but it's certainly reasonable sanity check to ensure your testing is going as expected. In reviewing test reports from multiple labs, it's immediately clear that reported incident energy during test shots doesn't always line up with the expected range. But this isn't a requirement by the standard, so why does it matter? Well, the apparent incident energy reported by the monitor sensors in every shot gets used in the calculation of the ARC rating. So if the monitor sensors aren't accurately reporting the incident energy, the ARC rating won't be accurate. Among a group of test reports that I reviewed for one fabric, the reported incident energy for the test shots ranged anywhere from precisely on target to over 24% higher than should have been expected for the given ARC duration. And as a reminder, we establish an ARC rating by collecting at least 20 individual data points. Each data point is recorded as either a burn or no burn at a particular incident energy. We test 3 fabric panels in a given shot and plot the burn or no burn result against a measured incident energy for that fabric panel. Fabric panels are replaced and another shot gives 3 more data points. This continues until we have at least 20 data points, satisfying all the statistical requirements of the test method. At that point, we fit the data to a logistics regression curve. The ARC rating is where that curve crosses the 50th percentile probability of a predicted burn injury. So, remembering how ARC ratings are produced, you see why an accurate incident energy is very important. Imagine the incident energy reported for each of those data points is 20% higher than it should be. Naturally, that whole curve shifts as well. Let's say a lab that's dead on target with the incident energy produces an ARC rating of 7.2 calories. Then let's take the same burn, no burn results, but increase the reported incident energy by 20%. Now that ARC rating becomes 8.6. Down in this lower end of the level 2 ARC rating range, where so many products fall, this difference really appears to just be in the noise of typical variation. And because of that, this issue has really gone unnoticed. And let's face it, a difference from 7.2 calories to 8.6 calories likely won't result in much practical difference in burn injury during the ARC incident. But it appears as though this discrepancy grows as you move into significantly higher energy levels. We took a look at one high-level product that was tested in multiple labs with significantly different results. Having shown light on this incident energy inconsistency, we had a closer look at the reports. The reported incident energy, again, was within 2% of the target on some reports and nearly 40% above the target on others. This resulted in multiple ARC ratings of the same product ranging from just below 70 calories to just over 100 calories. Unlike the differences in the low energy levels, this is not insignificant and it's not in the noise. This difference can result in real injuries if a worker is exposed to an ARC incident at those high levels. Now, to be clear, I honestly don't believe any of these are intentional variations. Again, the standard doesn't require this level of scrutiny, at least not yet. But as experts in the field for decades, you can trust that Connectrix is looking at every detail of the test to ensure accuracy of our results. So, my message to you is this. When selecting a test lab, be sure you're doing so for the right reasons. It should never be about seeking the highest ARC rating. It should always be about seeking the true ARC rating. Our customers depend on it, end users depend on it, and lives depend on it. If you're ever in any doubt about your ARC ratings or any aspect of your PPE, you can always contact us at contact.arcware@connectrix.com. And our team of experts will be happy to review any test reports and recommend any necessary updates to your PPE program.